Hi everyone, I'm Lynn and today's a very special day. Normally tomorrow is the special day because tomorrow is World Food Day. But today, because of the constraints that I have meetings tomorrow, today we are going to go and we are going to give sandwiches to the needy, which would be a couple of blocks down near McDonald's and near the old church. So that is our job today. We couldn't do it tomorrow because tomorrow we have a meeting. So we decided, good morning. So we decided to do this today. You see, if you look around, you'll see we're in a very nice neighborhood. But you know what gets to me about this neighborhood? It's beautiful. If you go 15 minutes away by car, you're going to see things that are not so beautiful. So, and that's all over New York, you have that. You have 15 minutes away. So I think we have to take the time to think of those people who don't live in neighborhoods like this. People who don't have the money for neighborhoods like this. I'd like to read a little poem to you. You know, you can never escape my poetry. He could be your brother, sitting on the train with eyes so sad. The world dealt him a terrible hand, the worst one could have had. Yet we ignore his cries. He isn't our problem. People like him we despise. He could be your brother, displaced at a young age, filled with embarrassment, full of rage, afraid to meet eye to eye, yet we ignore him. We walk on by. He could be a brother. We ask ourselves, how did he get this way? We blame it on alcohol. Did he ask to go astray? Who would want to live like this? Homelessness is not bliss. He could be a brother. Perhaps his family wasn't willing to take him back. When poverty knocks on your door, so much do you lack. Yet, he is out there every single day. Is anyone willing to help him find his way? He is like no other. Realize he could be your brother. Now, I wasn't always a hunger poverty buff. And many years ago, I met about 12 years ago, I hope I can do this without crying, a very special man. His name was Essadiki. And I also met Vinod Badhanka, who was my other mentor. What makes Sudhaka...
They are both from India?
Yeah. What makes Sudhaka the most special person I think I ever met in my life is that he never talked about the wonderful things that he did. He was a giver. He helped others to live. He was by far an angel of mercy. And I haven't spoken to him recently, but he made me who I am today. So, you know, I mean, he thought it's very important to give. It doesn't matter what we have for ourselves. It's more important for what we can do for others. And he's still, even though he isn't in my life today, he's still one of the most important people. So, Mr. Malfi, wherever you are, I want to thank you because this poverty cry has been inside me for more than 12 years. I have always felt that it was a need, even when I was teaching in the classroom, to help children see the needs of the poor. Most of my students were poor. We would donate on Thanksgiving. We would have a feast, and anything that was left over, we would donate to the local soup kitchen. They got to know my students very well. We would make decorations for the local soup kitchen. We would do all kinds of things to make the students and the soup kitchen realize that we didn't look down upon them because they were so poor. We felt sorry for them, and thus, and I have spoken to some of my students recently. One who turned out to be a nurse, one of my favorites, and they're still giving because they were taught, give so others can live. So thank you, Mr. Malfi, for teaching this. You and Sam Man have turned out to be two of the most important people in my life. If I could see you, if I could speak to you, I would tell you how significant you truly were. I mean, we had a lot of people along the hunger plight. I'm not going to say it was one person, but Mr. Malfi really directed me the right way, and I will never forget everything you did for me. As far as you go, Sam Man, you're helping me now, and that's really what counts, and you've always been there. So, let me end by saying that if we can't help other people, we can't help ourselves. If you don't love yourself, how can you love others? So ask yourself, what would you do if that person looking for food was you? That's for Lisa Ballantyne. Love you, Lisa. You need to help other people. It should be in your heart. It should be in your soul. It should be the reason that you rock and roll. Help the people. That's what God wanted us to do. God didn't want us to be so egocentric. Oh, we go to Saks, we go to Bloomingdale's. Yeah, that's all wonderful. I would love to go to those stores. Occasionally I go shopping and I buy what I need, but I'm always thinking about the other person. Am I going to spend $110 to walk into Disney when I could be giving out free meals? Now, in New York, the one beautiful thing about New York, the thing I love the most about New York, is that there are many, many soup kitchens. And once again, I will mention New York Cares. Woohoo! New York Cares is an organization that gives help to others through volunteerism. It gives help to people. Now, I've been in almost every soup kitchen in New York because of New York Cares, because I volunteered to help. I'm still a team leader. I do Lynn's Kids, I do New York Cares, and of course Saving Souls Women's Network, which is my favorite. We have to care, and it shouldn't be only New York Care. I know my good friend Shirley, who is like a soul sister to me, does something wonderful in California. I don't think you know this, Taoufik. It's called Meals on Wheels. We have it here too.
I know. I have heard about it.
Which is giving meals to seniors who can't get out of their house. My friend Shirley and her wonderful husband Frank are part of Meals on Wheels. They do this twice a week. How much more beautiful. Nobody's telling you have to take money out of your pocket. I have none to give anybody, but I give them my service. Giving service is the most important thing that you can do. Looking in their faces instead of looking away from them. You don't have to give them money. You have to give them time. You have to show them that you care. And today, the one wonderful thing that makes me feel better, and it's encouraging, is that there are more mental health counselors out there trying to help these people. Not all of them are mentally ill. Some of them chose not to go to shelters, because shelters are very dangerous, but because of the population that's coming in now, that Governor DeSantis, that pig, and Abbott, who belongs in a wheelchair, are sending to our states. We don't have enough for our own homeless. And I really have to tell the two of them that they will have their meeting with God, and they're certainly not going to heaven. We need to help the homeless. We need to help the hungry. We need to help the old. We need to help the young. We need to help anybody who needs help, because that's what God wanted us to do. I would never get through life where I am facing chemo for the second time, not once, but twice. Who could be so lucky? If I didn't have the strongest belief in God. In my world, I believe in God, I believe in Malpi, and I believe in Songman. And of course in my husband Taoufik, because he's there by my side for the chemo. I always say to him, why do you have to go? It's 6 hours. And he says, I'm there, don't tell me what to do. I love that. It is a cute little accent. So you have to help. My husband came here, he never did stuff like this in Morocco, and he admitted it. He got such pleasure out of serving in soup kitchens that he topped me when I couldn't go because of the cancer and I felt so sick. He was going to soup kitchens instead of me because he loved the feeling of giving. Now, ask yourself, it's not about your children and it's not only about you. Give to people who are in need. Help them succeed. Don't stay in your ivory tower and think, oh gee, it's not going to happen to me. People are sleeping on cars. People are... They're facing such a terrible thing. But I will say that a couple, I'm not going to mention their names, not to embarrass them, that I know that did sleep in their car for very many reasons, which are not my business. They have come so far, and they are going to be feeding the hungry this weekend. So if they can do it, so can you. Take 10, 15 minutes out of your time and donate at the soup kitchen. You're going to get more than you give. Because the look on these people's faces when you serve them is the most wonderful feeling of all. I'm going to stop because I think you've probably heard my voice enough. But I will say that the one thing, and I told some people yesterday at the Lynn's Kids meeting, the one thing that I think I admire the most is a soup kitchen in Manhattan called All Souls. If you live in Manhattan and you want to volunteer for New York Cares, volunteer at All Souls. It is a Monday nights they have a soup kitchen. And before you can serve in that soup kitchen and be a volunteer, they take you into a room. And they give you, I thought it was a little crazy when I first started, but then, hey, I said to myself, what a wonderful thing. They tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. If you can't look in the faces of the hungry, go home. If you can't smile at the hungry, go home. If you can't sit with them and make them feel like they're one of you, go home. If you can't make them feel important, go home. Some people did go home. I loved sitting at the tables with them because not only were they grateful, I didn't need their gratitude, but they care. They care. They know their situations. And the one wonderful thing is nobody left with empty hands. Everybody left with packages of food that they gave them to take home. And on every table they had a vase filled with flowers. They had pitchers of milk, and they had pitchers of water. And whether if it was cold in the winter, there was coffee. If it was hot in the summer, there's iced tea. Most important thing is that there's love and dignity. And they tell you, don't be a volunteer if you can't give from your heart. And I think that that's what I'm trying to say to you today. Give from the heart and give them your soul. Because tomorrow it could be you. Yes,
Always practice
what you
giving
put
so
aside.
people can have
And Lisa Valentine's
living.
Lisa Valentine's favorite line of mine is, remember,
Hello, Lasita. Hello,
Lisa.
Lisa.
remember, please do that tomorrow that hungry person could be you, and it can. We don't know what's going to happen. You could lose your job. You could lose your house. It could be a fire. You could walk across the street and get hit by a car. I mean, all wonderful thoughts. But the point is this. Get out of your comfort zone. See how the other half lives. And then you're going to want to help. And if you don't, then you don't belong in this world. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for listening. Mr. Malpy and Psalm Man. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Love you, baby.
Yeah. Another good one.
Yeah. Wow.